Good evening. On behalf of Marshall County High School and the Athletic Foundation, we welcome you to the 2022 Hall of Fame induction. We're very excited to be back and able to honor these athletes who have represented Marshall County over the past few years. It's my pleasure to introduce our Master of Ceremony tonight. He's a 2013 Hall of Famer and also the voice of the Marshalls, Jeff Waters.
Thanks, Mike. It's good to be back. This is the first time we've been able to do this in 3 years because of COVID, and it's good to be back, and we're really excited about this class of inductees. For me personally, it was one of the greatest nights of my life, probably only behind getting married and the births of my children. That's how much it meant to me. And so I know it means that much to all of you who have been chosen for induction here tonight. A few people to thank. Of course, we want to thank the folks here at the high school, all of the administration, the school board, our superintendent, Dr. Miracle, our principal here, Mrs. McCoy, Mike, our athletic director, and the culinary arts class here at the high school for the wonderful meal. They do a terrific job, and it's such a great resource for us to have all of that right here at the high school, and it's second to none. You can't find any group that would cater and do any better job than what they do for us year in and year out at this event. So yeah, give them a round of applause. I know there are several of the Athletic Foundation board members in attendance tonight. I'm going to read those, and if you are in attendance, stand up. If you're not in attendance, obviously you're not going to be standing up. Our president is Jason Darnell. The other members are Rick Leeper, Bill Morgan, Monty Collins, Steve Fisk, Dax Myhand, Dennis Faust, Donna Perry, Beverly Solomon, Mike Johnson, Brent Lovett, Jeff Stokes, and Steve Smith. So thank you to all of those board members. I love being able to talk and reminisce and see all of the folks here that I haven't seen in a while. It's so great to see Doc here. I'm so excited for Doc to be inducted along with all of the other inductees, and of course, many of the people that will be inducted I either worked with or I did their games, or it's just great to be. Doc was, I said the night that I was inducted, I was 23 years old when I began broadcasting Marshall County games. That was almost 29 years ago. And I was working for Jim Freeland, and I was calling football games with Larry Krause. Doc was the athletic director. Jim Shelton was the football coach. Kirk Childs was the basketball coach, and Howard Beth was the girls' basketball coach. And you talk about just a lot of really good mentors to be around and learn from. It was such a blessing for me, but I can remember when Doc was the athletic director, and in the mid and late 90s when the football team was really cooking, and they were winning district championships and ranked in the top 5 in the state, and big crowds showing up every night. And I was very young and ambitious then, had a lot of ideas, some good, some bad. Not like it is today, where really all I want to do is sit down. But I would call Doc and I'd say, Doc, for Friday night's game, I want to hire a sound system, and we want to play music, and the quarterback club is going to do a meal, and we're going to get everybody excited about whatever game was coming up. Jeff, I don't care what you do. Just do whatever you want to. And so that was always, I would always call Doc because I wanted to make sure, but I always knew that Doc would say, whatever you think, we'll go ahead and do it. But and all of the other inductees, it's so great to see all of you here. The gentleman that I'm going to bring up now, many of you will remember. Those of you that aren't old enough, Google him when you get home. You'll learn a little more about him. But our guest speaker tonight, if you were a Kentucky basketball fan as a child in the late 70s, when you played in your driveway or when you played at recess at school, there was always going to be an argument over who got to be who. You either wanted to be Kyle Macy or Jay Scheidler. You wanted to be Macy or Scheidler. You wanted to be the Blonde Bomber or Mr. Cool from Peru, Indiana, Jay Scheidler, or Kyle Macy. But Jay Scheidler played at the University of Kentucky, was a member and a key contributor on their 1978 national championship team. Jay, in a day whenever freshmen typically did not start in major college programs, Jay started as a freshman at Kentucky. In one of his first games, he went to Indiana, and he put 20 points on Bobby Knight's Hoosiers, and the Cats came home with a victory over Indiana. And Jay played as a member of Team USA in the World Invitational game. Some of his teammates on that team were Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. And he roomed with Larry Bird during that time. And I know if you'll buy his book, there's some interesting stories about the time with Magic and Larry. But Jay's had a very decorated athletic career, was drafted by the Chicago Bulls, played overseas, came back. He's done a lot of different things. He just recently wrote his autobiography called The Blonde Bomber, A Ride with Scheid. And I've read it. I read it in about 2 or 3 days. It was very captivating from start to finish. From his experiences growing up in a rural area, like you student athletes, and winning a state championship, playing multiple sports, excelling in multiple sports, and then having his pick of whatever major college program he wanted to play for. And he ended up choosing the University of Kentucky. And so Jay has a great story of perseverance and of fighting through adversity. And I think you'll get a kick out of listening to Jay here tonight. It's been my pleasure to get to know him a little bit over the past few years. But the Blonde Bomber, Jay Scheidler.
Thank you, Jeff. That was very nice. It's an honor for me to be here tonight with you all. I've been through some of these Hall of Fame induction ceremonies, and it's always good to be a part of those things. I want to thank Jeff and Marshall County High School for inviting me to come here tonight and speak with you. I'm not going to hold you up very long. I know you want to get on to the festivities and everything, but like Jeff said, I was born and raised in Lawrenceville, Illinois. Little small rural town of about 6,000 at that time. I think the population's down to about 4,400 now, but not too much different from here. So I know what it's like to grow up in a small area and play athletics and be a part of something like that. So, like Jeff said, I was a multi-sport athlete. It was just in my blood. I was very fortunate that I came from a very athletic family. My dad was a tremendous athlete in Lawrenceville High School back in the late 40s. My brother graduated from Lawrenceville High School in 1970, was a 3-sport athlete. He was an all-state quarterback in football. He led the state of Illinois in scoring his senior year at almost 36 points a game, and had a chance to sign a baseball contract with the Cincinnati Reds when he was 16 years old. So, it was in our blood, and when I came along 5 years later after my brother graduated high school, expectations were pretty high, to say the least. But I really didn't give it much thought. I just loved playing, whatever sport it was. In high school, I played, of course, I played basketball and football, played baseball, ran track, and played golf my senior year. So I stayed pretty busy. So I don't know if there's many athletes here tonight that are multi-sport athletes, but kudos to you. I think that you can take a little bit of something from each sport, whatever it is, and take that along in your future life. So athletics is a great thing. You learn how to deal with people and to work with people, working towards a common goal. And it's just it's athletics are great experience, I think, and it's just something that you take with you the rest of your life, especially those that are being. I wanted to congratulate the inductees tonight too. Super job. I know that you've put in a lot of work to get to where you are and to have this honor this evening, so I want to congratulate everybody there. Like Jeff said, I had a fairly decent high school career. Didn't play much as a freshman in high school, but I was able to crack the starting lineup my sophomore year in 1974, and was able to. We were fortunate enough to win a state championship in Lawrenceville in 1974, a Class A state championship. I know that there's still just one class really here in Kentucky, and that's the way it was in Illinois until 1972. They split us into two classes, which I think was a great thing. Being in Illinois, it was pretty tough for small schools to compete against Chicago area teams. They would always win in the state championships and stuff. So the two-class system worked out very well for us. So we won the state championship my sophomore year, and then we were fortunate enough to get back to Champaign, Illinois, at the state tournament my senior year, where we finished third. But I probably should have won it, but we finished third. And I was fortunate enough to have a great tournament. I had a great senior season that I led the state of Illinois in scoring my senior year and set some scoring records at the state tournament, which I was very proud to be able to do that. But you know, it's like you guys here that are being inducted tonight. You put in the work. You know, I mean, you have a goal of what you want to accomplish, and you can't do it just by sitting around on the couch and not doing anything. So I realize that you've put in the work, and that's what it takes. So. Coaches too, you know, I was fortunate enough to have a great high school basketball coach. He's a legendary coach in the state of Illinois. He left our high school and was Bobby Knight's assistant coach at Indiana for 15 years. So the guy knew what he was doing. But he made not only myself, but he made everybody that played for him far better than what they could ever anticipated them being themselves. So after my senior year, it was time to go to college, and didn't really know where I was going to go. Being the relationship with my high school coach and Coach Knight, everybody back home thought I was probably going to go to IU. And I thought about it, came real close to going there, but then I made a visit to Lexington, Kentucky. And it was just an unbelievable weekend that weekend. They showed me around Lexington. Rupp Arena wasn't finished at that time. They took me to Rupp Arena and said, "This is where you go to play," and I was just awestruck, you know, this huge facility, and you know, everything about the program was what I was looking for. Coming from high school, with the success of the athletic programs that we had in high school, I wanted to continue that, and I just wanted to win, and I felt that at that time, the University of Kentucky would have a pretty decent chance of winning a national championship the first couple of years I was there. That was my main focus. And luckily, fortunately, it panned out, and it turned out to be as we were able to win the national championship in 1978. Very proud of that, very proud to be a member of that team. And that team was unbelievable. I mean, the character of the guys on that team and the work that we put in, we were so focused on that one accomplishment. That's all we cared about was winning a national championship. And everybody knew that we were probably the best team in the country, which put even more pressure on us because everybody expected us to win. And fortunately, we came together and were able to pull that off. Wasn't easy. You know, I didn't have by my standards, I didn't have a great college career. Yeah, I played a lot. I've started every game as a freshman, which that didn't happen back then. Was looking forward to my sophomore year because we had a transfer coming in by the name of Kyle Macy. And I was looking forward to being with him in the backcourt in 1977-78. And the second day of practice, I broke my foot. So there went that idea. So I suffered for about 6 or 8 weeks and got a late start, lost my starting job. And but came back in time to be able to contribute to help us win that national championship, and that means so much to me to be able to be a part of that. The last couple of years at UK were good years. We weren't very good my junior year. Got to play a lot, but we had lost so much from the '78 team, losing the 4 seniors in James Lee and Jack Givens and Rick Roby and Mike Phillips. Mike, rest in peace. Mike passed about 7 years ago, but and he was a very, very close friend of mine on the team. He's probably one of the closest teammates I had at the time. So, but we lost so much from that team. We weren't very good my junior year, but we had a good year my senior year. Didn't quite make it to the Final Four. Got beat by Duke at home in Rupp Arena in the first round of the regional tournament. So my college career was over. So I did get drafted by the Chicago Bulls, which I was not expecting because I didn't have that great of a career. I didn't think it warranted enough to be drafted. And as a matter of fact, the night of the draft, I was playing industrial softball at the softball field, and the Bulls had gotten a hold of my mom somehow, and she called my girlfriend in Lexington's mother, and she passed the word and finally tracked me down at the softball field to tell me that I was drafted by the Bulls. So I went to camp, had a good camp, but just didn't play well enough to make the team. So, you know, there I was. That was the first time in my life I never made a team. And it was like, what do I do now, you know? So I never really – I fell into the trap of not really wanting – I didn't really have any interest in doing anything outside of athletics, and here I was, you know, that was gone now. So, you know, I was kind of in a spot. So my point is that, you know, after basketball, after the crowd stops cheering and after the ball starts bouncing, life gets a little tough, and it was tough on me. I didn't know what to do, and I had my struggles throughout the years and everything, but I never gave up. I persevered. I kept taking that first step forward, getting knocked down, getting back up, getting knocked down, getting back up. So it doesn't really matter. You've heard it probably people say it many times that, you know, it doesn't matter how many times you get knocked down as long as you keep getting up. And that's what I had to do. And the 40 years after my playing days were over were not good ones. But one thing that I did not lose was my faith in God Almighty. He kept me going. I leaned on God so much, had to, because I didn't know what else to turn to. And I don't want to get religious on anybody here, but, you know, if you have God on your side and you never give up on Him, He's never going to give up on you. And He didn't. And I got to the low point in my life and had some people come to my rescue, so to speak, some former teammates. If you get my book, you'll find out who those people were. But they basically saved my life, and was able to turn my life around a few years ago. Got back on track. Met my new wife, who's sitting over here in the corner. We went to high school together, as a matter of fact, and connected 45 years later after we graduated high school. So you never know what's going to happen in the future. I love her to death. She's great. She's been very helpful during this book signing stuff and everything, and we're having a great time. She's retired now, and so we have a lot of fun. But I guess what I'm trying to say is high school days are great, and if anybody has is planning on going on to college or has scholarship offers and that sort of thing, make the best of it. You'll never forget those days. They'll mean a lot to you. I know they do to me. The relationships that I built, especially with teams that I played on, my teammates, you'll never have better people in your corner than your teammates, because you go through so much together, battles in practice and playing and coming together and trying to accomplish a common goal, that those bonds will last forever. And I cherish those things. The friendships that I have now today from even my high school teammates and especially college teammates, it just means so much to me, and it'll mean so much to you too, if you further your career in athletics, or if not, you'll still remember all of those days that you had with those people, and it's very meaningful. I guess I don't really have anything else to tell you. I guess my point was just to never lose faith in yourself, never lose faith in God. Lean on God when you have to; He'll be there for you. And things, as for me, things have worked out far better than I ever thought it could have been just a couple of years ago. So again, I want to congratulate everybody that's being inducted tonight, and good luck to you in your further ventures in life. It's good to see everybody here. I appreciate everybody coming out, and I guess we can get on with it, I suppose. Thank you all.
By the way, Jay will still have his table set up, and if you'd like to purchase a book, or if you were like me and had already purchased your book and just wanted to get it signed, Jay be glad to do that for you. And I even brought him a 44-year-old book that I bought, or my dad bought for me, when I was 7 years old after Kentucky won it in '78, and Mike Phillips had signed it. Got to know Mike when he was broadcasting Madisonville's games, when he made his home in Madisonville after his professional playing days. And so I got Jay to sign his name next to the late Mike Phillips. One story, if you've ever listened to some of our interviews, one with Jay in particular, and I'll be very brief because I know we want to get on to the inductees, but Mike Phillips, one of the Twin Towers, about 6'10", big guy, kind of a gentle giant. The punishment at Kentucky under Coach Hall, as Jay has told me, if you missed a class or if you had some other transgression, you would go out Tate's Creek Road at about 5 o'clock on Saturday morning, be dropped off, and you had to run back. And so depending on the severity of whatever your violation was, is how far out you got to go to Tate's Creek Road. And one Saturday, Jay had drawn that punishment, and I think you told me it was Tim Stevens. Was it you and Tim? Went out about, 3 miles out on Tate's Creek Road. One of the assistant coaches dropped them off, said, start running back to campus. Mike Phillips was also being punished, and when they dropped Jay and Tim off, they kept going with Mike. Said, no, Mike, you got to go on out further. Of course, they're wondering, gosh, what did Mike do? So Jay and Tim start running back to campus, and they get close to campus. They're within, a few hundred yards of campus. They kind of slow down to a fast walk. What was the name of the donut shop?
Dixie Cream.
Dixie Cream Donut Shop. Dennis, you probably remember that one. And they go by the Dixie Cream Donut Shop, walk by in the window, and they see a 6'10", dark-headed guy coming out of the front door of the donut shop with one donut in his mouth and a bag of donuts in his hand. And it's Mike Phillips. whereas Mike, had to go out even further and ask him, how did you do this? You were taken out even further than we were. Boys, you got to learn the ropes. And so it's a great story, and I know Mike was a really nice guy, and I know he's missed dearly by all of his teammates at Kentucky. One of the things that they started doing with the last induction ceremony that the tradition will continue here tonight, and I think it's a great idea, is we are going to have many of the student athletes here at Marshall County High School that are going to be introducing and telling you a little bit about this year's inductees. So the first inductee is in the team category, and it will be presented by a young lady who is a member of the girls basketball team and also the track and field team here at Marshall County High School, and that's Georgia Hall. Georgia?
The 1988 through 89 Lady Marshall basketball team ended with a season record of 30-4, one of only 7 teams in program history to reach 30 wins. At state, the Lady Marshalls defeated Pulaski County and Logan County to reach the semifinals. MCHS lost by 1 point to Clark County in semifinals to end their season. Here are the 1988 through 89 Lady Marshall basketball team members: Marcia Case, Tammy Watkins, Rochelle Cadwell, Alicia Sells, Christy Ackerson, Missy Lee, Kim Oliver, Christy Walker, Candy Womack, Shannon Gossam, Lorinda Drown, assistant coach Lisa Jarrett, assistant coach Terry Futrell, and head coach Howard Beth. The managers are Wendy Darnell, Missy Smith, statisticians Kathy Smith and Holly Woodruff. Congratulations.
All of the team members that are here, coaches, please come forward and receive this honor, please.
Here at Marshall County High School, the chairman of the board members, especially Mike Johnson and Lucy. I don't know how they keep up with everything at this time of the year, I'm telling you, and this is really something. Congratulations to all the people being inducted here tonight. This honor here is something that it is a team honor, and this was strictly a team. I don't think, we had individual players, but they were the team. They proved that. To do good in a state tournament, you have to have 3 things on your side. You have to have outstanding players. We had outstanding players. You have to have God. We had that. We have to have luck, and we had part of that, but maybe not quite enough because we lacked that one game of getting there. But we only lost 4 ball games that year. We lost to good old Henderson County by 1 point in Henderson County, our 3rd game of the season. We lost 2 games the same day at the LIT. And then we got beaten in the state tournament. Now there were only 4 losses. So it is quite an accomplishment. Congratulations, like I say, to all the people being inducted here. I hope that it means as much to you as it should mean. You're being inducted to Marshall County Hall of Fame, and that in itself is enough to say it. Thank you very much.
If you don't have your season tickets yet for Murray State women's basketball, Rochelle, where'd Rochelle go? You got to get them, right? It's going to be a fun year. It was a fun year last year. I enjoyed going to several games and then being able to watch on ESPN Plus. But of course, Rochelle's doing a great job at Murray State, and she's got 2 Lady Marshals on the roster, Kason Connor and Hallie Lange, and a lot of great players, many of them from right here in this area, and making us all very proud. But congratulations to the 88-89 Lady Marshals basketball team. Our next inductee will be in the coach category, and the young man that will be inducting him and telling you a little bit about him is he ready? Is he here? I call him my quarterback. He was my quarterback in Little League when we were all coaching those kids in Little League. Now he's Marshall County High School's quarterback, and he's going to help lead the Marshals to a win tomorrow night over McCracken County. And I'm looking forward to being on the call for that one. But Connor Nix, senior here at the high school, is going to introduce our next inductee. Connor?
Doc Sanders, a native of Marks, Mississippi, came to Western Kentucky in 1967 as a transfer football player at Murray State University, graduating from MSU in 1969. He began his teaching and coaching career at Henry County, Tennessee High School and was an assistant coach at Mayfield High School until he became the coach at Marshall County in 1980. He coached Marshall County until becoming athletic director in 1990. While at Mayfield, he was on the coaching staff that won 2 state championships prior to coming to Marshall County. In 1986, he led Marshall County to its first 4A district championship, placing the Marshals into playoffs for the first time in one of the most competitive districts in the state. Doc retired from Marshall County in 2001 and worked as an administrator at Henry County from 2004 to 2009 when he again retired. He now runs 2 cattle farms and a hunting club in the Mississippi Delta. Congrats, Doc.
Miss English told me about this deal tonight, introduction and so forth. I got to thinking about my age and where I'm getting to, and I began to think, what am I going to say? And the first thing I could say, just I appreciate being here and being above ground. And I thank everybody in this whole community, and certainly the school district in many ways. Came here in 1980 and stayed till I got ran out in, 201, somewhere there. Thought about leaving a number of times, but I didn't. And I guess you call it perseverance or whatever, and hung around. I never did hate to come to work. I always enjoyed coming to this building because it was a role model for Western Kentucky school systems. And I told a lot of people that over the years. And all activities, this school system was a role model. My 3 children went through school here, K through 12, and I wouldn't have them going anywhere else. I have traveled in 2 other states where I coached ball and was in administration, 2 other places, 3 school districts. None of them have what we have here. In some ways, I might have a team here, there, a little bit better or whatever. But overall, the positives here are much better than anywhere that I've been. And it's a pleasure to be back, even though I live kind of far off. It's great to be back with all these fine people. Our administration here was top-notch. Couldn't have been better in any way. We had the best leadership, direction for the betterment of our kids, of any place that I've ever been. And I was telling the football team here this afternoon, of course, we got a big game tomorrow night. Best of luck to them. Keep focused, guys. work hard, think good things are going to happen. And that's the way we had it here for all these years. And when I was a coach, we had a long way to go. Classification started back there. Needless to say, we were put in a bigger bunch. We just had to work hard as we could to go with what we had. As athletic director, I had more fun than anybody around because I had such good support. We had the best booster clubs in the world. And I owe a bunch of ladies in here about half my pay because they did half my work. And I really appreciate those days. I had a great time, and it's great to be back and good to see all these fine citizens out here tonight. Thank you all.
Congratulations, Doc. We'll begin now with the induction of individual athletes. And for the next presentation will be another senior student athlete here at the high school, participates in football and in basketball, and that's Jacob Wilson.
Tonight I'm here to induct James D. Gamble, PhD, into the Hall of Fame. A 1958 graduate of Benton High School, JD was a member of the 1958 Courier Journal All-State basketball team as the Indians won the 1958 First Region title. He was also the record holder for most points scored in Benton High School history, which was 1,291 points. He went on to play basketball at Mississippi State University. Might I say what an honor this is to induct Dr. Gamble into the Hall of Fame tonight. Thank you all.
It's bright in here. Okay. Thank you for the kind words and to the Marshall County High School Athletic Foundation for this honor. First, I'd like for you to know that I have Parkinson's disease, which can affect my cognition and sometimes my speech. I have my wife and partner on the stage with me to help steady me if the need be. 100 years ago, 1922, my mother joined the girls' basketball team as a sophomore from Itawamba High School in Fulton, Mississippi. At this time, it was extremely uncommon for girls to play basketball. Certainly not if we show them how to play basketball here. I can understand that. My mother was inspired to help me. She encouraged and supported me throughout my entire basketball career. Next, I would like to acknowledge three men who coached me during my 15-year high school career. Bill Ferris of Benton High School, Babe McCarthy of the Mississippi State University, and Barney Thweet, Paducah Tillman High School, and Brewers as well. Under Coach Bill Ferris, Benton High School lost only 9 games over a 3-year period, 1956 to 1958. Benton High School beat the regional championship 1958 by beating North Marshall High School by 4 points. Also, I was named to the Courier Journal's All-Star basketball team. Listen up. Okay, based on my performance at the regional finals, Coach Babe McCarthy of Mississippi State University signed me with a 5-year athletic scholarship. These were exciting times for Mississippi State University. We won the SEC championship 4 out of the 5 years in 1958 through 1963. Unfortunately, the governor of Mississippi would not allow us to play in the NCAA tournament based on racial segregation laws that prohibited black and white players from competing against each other. Finally, and the policy was changed, and in 1963, Mississippi State made it to the NCAA tournament. After graduating from Mississippi State, I returned to Western Kentucky and was hired as an assistant basketball coach by Barney Thweet. In 1967, I was named head coach Paducah Tillman. In the following years, Paducah Tillman won Region 1 and made it to the Sweet 16. Finally, I'd like to say that over the course of my life, the example set by my mother and my coaches influenced and inspired me both on and off the basketball court. Thank you for this honor.
Congratulations again to Mr. J.D. Gamble. Our next student athlete to present this evening, our next inductee, will be Chase Hayden, who is a member of the Marshals baseball team. Chase?
Tonight I will be talking about Cody Forsyth. Cody was a 2009 graduate of Marshall County, where he led the Marshall baseball team to the 2009 regional championship and to the quarterfinals of the 2009 state tournament. In 2008, he was a Kentucky Junior All-Star. He was also a First Region Junior All-Star and on the First Region All-Star Tournament team. He was a First Region East and West All-Star team as well. In 2009, he was a Kentucky Senior All-Star, First Region MVP, Semi-State MVP, and Second Team All-State. And he was labeled a no-spit All-Star Get Healthy, or no-spit All-Star by Get Healthy Kentucky. He went on to Southern Illinois University, where he was the career leader in games started with 49 innings, or 49 games, and pitched a total of 346 innings. He was the fifth all-time with 246 strikeouts, and he was a three-time MVC All-Conference player, as well as a two-time MVC Pitcher of the Week. He was drafted by the Philadelphia Phillies in the 2013 MLB Draft and spent 3 seasons playing professionally in the minor leagues. And in 2015 was a member of the USA team in the Premier 12 tournament. Congratulations, Cody.
Cody, unfortunately, had to work tonight, so Cody's mother is going to accept this honor on his behalf. This time we'd like to introduce Peyton Whiteloff. She is a member of the Lady Marshals basketball team, and she will present our next inductee.
Jessica was a 4-year starter for the Lady Marshals, where she led the Lady Marshals to regional championships in 2006, 2008, and 2009. In 2007 to 2008, she averaged 24.7 points and 11 rebounds per game as a junior, where she also shot 60% from the field and 40% from the three-point range. She also earned All-State honors as a junior and a sophomore. She ended her career as an all-time leading scorer in Marshall County history with 2,378 points. She also set a Marshall County record for career free throws made with 573. and was a 4-time all-purchase team selection. Jessica shot 37.9%, which was 107 of 282 from beyond the arc as a post player. She tallied 313 career blocks, 1,230 rebounds, and 152 steals. As a senior, she received numerous awards, including being named KABC Region 1 Player of the Year, Kentucky All-State, Region 1 All-Tournament Team and MVP, and 4th District All-Tournament Team honors. Congratulations, Coach.
My mom had to take a picture, so I had to smile for that. Coach Beth, I know you were on the mic because it was lowered. I'm not really good at speeches in front of adults. I'm a teacher, and so I'm usually talking to 6th graders. But what I want, a lot of my players are here tonight, and so I did have something I wanted to tell you guys. Appreciate your parents and your families and your coaches and the people who invest time in you. Because without my parents and my grandparents and who now in my adult life, my adopted parents and Aunt Mel are here, those people who invest time in you, don't take them for granted. They take you to practice, they go to your games, they make sure your jersey's clean and all that stuff, things that you don't really think about as a kid. And so when you go home tonight, hug their neck and tell them thank you and that you appreciate them. Because without those people sitting right there, I wouldn't be able to do anything that I had done and that I try to do as a teacher now. So that includes Coach Beth and Miss Ann as well. Thank you guys, and I love you.
I think Peyton may have mentioned this, and I apologize if I'm repeating something she said, but Jessica is the all-time leading scorer, girls or boys, at this high school, and that says something. And correct me if I'm wrong, but according to my research and everything I've been able to track down, in the illustrious history of Lady Marshall's basketball, Jessica Holder, according to what, and somebody may correct me, and that's fine, but she is the only 4-time All-State player here at Marshall County. Make honorable mention her freshman year and then advanced from there, but I believe that's right. Quite an accomplishment. So congratulations, Jessica. Our next student athlete to present our next inductee is a member of the Marshall's basketball team, and he is Hunter Anderson. Hunter?
Patrick Newcomb. Patrick was a 2009 graduate of Marshall County, where he was a member of the 2007 championship golf team and 2008 state runner-up team. He won the 2008 regional tournament, and he went on to Murray State University, where he was inducted into the Murray State University Hall of Fame in 2020. He helped lead the Racers to a 2010 OVC championship, and he also won 8 individual titles while there. He also won the 2013 individual OVC championship and was the 2012 runner-up. He was OVC Golfer of the Year in 2012 and 2013. He won the Kentucky State Amateur title in 2011 and 2012. He now plays professionally, where he has played in the Peach State Tour, the Sunshine Tour, and the PGA Latino America Tour, where he won the Honduras Open in 2017.
And Patrick is actually in Denmark playing in a professional event in Denmark right now, so unable to be here. But I believe, is his mom going? Yeah, okay. He's going to accept on his behalf. Our next presenter this evening is a member of the Marshals football team, where he starts on the defensive line for the Marshals, Will Van Horn.
Brandon Walker was a distinguished track and field athlete as well as a mainstay on the Marshall County football teams from 2006 to 2008. His track accomplishments include winning the 2007 state championship in the high jump with a jump of 6 feet and 6 inches. He is also the school record holder in the long jump with a jump of 23 feet and 1 inch. He was a starter on the 2007 Marshall County football team, which reached the state quarterfinals and the 6A playoffs. Please help me in congratulating Brandon Walker.
Seems safer up here, so. All right, when you're given an award like this, you try and think of all the people and coaches that influenced you over the years, or over your career. And really, 3 coaches stick out in my mind. Mike Lawson. Coach Lawson was really the first coach that pushed me and showed me how to work hard to achieve a goal. Jason Fight. Coach Fight, to me, is the epitome of a man. He's super tough, but he is also always there to listen to your problems and tell you the correct solution to fixing them, whether it was what you wanted to hear or not. Philip Maxwell. Coach Maxwell was always a great teacher and an even better friend. His personality is contagious, and I always felt that he was my biggest fan, which made you want to compete at your best when being around him. He actually just called me last night, so the unique relationship he has. Oh, sorry, I'll start that over. He just has a very unique relationship he creates with you. He would call me before games and talk with me and ask me how I was feeling and give me tabs on the other teams. He actually called me last night and asked if I was going to come to this, and if I was, he said he would come too. And that's his personality. He has always checked in on me throughout the years, and I just want to thank him for being a great coach and an even better friend. My family has played a huge role in my success on the field and track. It's really hard working as a full-time nurse and crazy scheduling and making it to every Friday night game, but my mom was always able to do it, rain or shine. Her and my cousins were always cheering me on in the stands. So I thank you for that, Mom. I love you. But who honestly I couldn't have done it without is my dad. Dad, you have been an amazing father to me. It didn't matter what day of the week. It didn't matter if it was going to Florida to play checkers. You would have been there through practice. My dad, he wouldn't miss a game or practice. He lugged me around for years and years doing it, and he never pressured me to play a sport. He always let me make my own choices, so thank you for that, Dad. I love you. In closing, I just want to say thank you to Vicki English. I wouldn't have known what to do without her messaging me, so that was really cool. I'm truly honored to be up here right now. Congratulations to all the other inductees, and thank y'all.
Boy, it was fun times with Brandon and those guys on those teams in the 2005, 2006, 2007. Gosh, what a bunch of great memories from those years. One in particular that sticks out for me is they, of course, beat Mayfield 3 years in a row. But the second year that they beat Mayfield, Mayfield was, we were over at War Memorial Stadium. Mayfield was backed up on about their 10 or 15 yard line, and they ran a little trap play, and their running back broke through and was headed to the end zone. And this was a very close game. And Brandon Walker came from the other side of the field, from his defensive back position from the other side of the field, and ran him down at the 2-yard line, and Mayfield fumbled on the next play. Marshall County recovered and won the game 21-14. Larry Krause, who was on the air with me that night, who was the second coach here at the high school, he said on the air, he said, "Did I just watch a defensive back from Marshall County run down Mayfield's running back?" And I said, "Yes, you did." And but what a great athlete! What fun times with those guys on those teams. A lot of great memories. Our next presenter, student athlete to present this evening, is a decorated member of our track and field and cross-country teams here at the high school, and that's Ethan McCarty.
Scott Bacon. Scott was a 1984 Marshall County graduate and was the state champion at the 1984 state track meet in the triple jump with a jump of 44 foot 10 inches. He also finished 5th in the 100-meter dash and 5th in the 200-meter dash that year, and is the current school record holder in the 100-meter dash. He was the first ever boys state champion in track and field history, and Bacon was also an outstanding football player while at Marshall County High School. Please join me in congratulating Scott Bacon.
Track and field, he was a great coach, and Doc Sanders, I enjoyed playing football with you. It was awesome. It was a great year. Thank you.
To present our next inductee will be a young man who is a multi-sport athlete here at the high school, playing as a top member of the Marshall's golf team, as well as on the Marshall's basketball team, Trey Wall.
Nick Newcomb. Nick was a graduate of the 2000 where he began his golf career. He went on to be a star at Murray State University, where he was inducted into the MSU Murray State Hall of Fame in 2020. He helped lead the racers to the 2010 OVC Championship. He won 3 individual titles while a racer. He won the OVC Tournament Championship in 2008 and 2010. He was the OVC Golf of the Year in 2010. He also played in the USGA United States Amateur in 2006. He began his professional career in the Peach State Tour Championship in 2013. He also finished in the top 10 on the money list that year. Nick played in nationwide tour events beginning in 2011, and he is playing professionally still to this day.
Nick's mom will accept on his behalf. Nick is the club pro at Miller Golf Course, Murray State, and so he is working this evening. Say a couple of words before we move on to the category of contributor, and I introduce the next student athlete, but this gentleman that is about to be inducted is no longer with us, and we all miss him dearly. And I remember when he passed away, I couldn't imagine going to a basketball game or a football game or just about anything where Marshall County kids were competing without seeing him there as a constant supporter, but an organizer, a fundraiser, a promoter, and somebody that really gave all that he had to helping kids here in Marshall County. And a life well lived. I know we all miss him dearly. I'll let Jamison Wells, who is a member of the tennis team here at the high school, tell you a little more about this next inductee.
Our next inductee is Mr. Tim Hawkins. Tim was a major contributor to the Marshall County Athletics, serving as longtime president of the Marshall County Backboard Club, providing sport to the Marshall County basketball program. Tim was a member of the last North Marshall graduating class in 1974 and attended Paducah Community College and Murray State University. He was employed in the hospitality industry and served as a manager of several hotel properties. In August 1983, Tim was injured in a shooting which left him paralyzed. After undergoing extensive rehabilitation, Tim did not let this slow him down, and he served on the Calvert City Council for 13 terms. His contributions to Marshall County athletics went beyond his service to the basketball program, and he supported all sports associated with the Marshall County High School system. Tim passed away on December 24th, 2016.
They want to make your picture. Get over here. I know about you. What we have to say has already been told about Tim. It was said, Tim passed away December the 24th, 2016. Tim spent the majority of his life in a wheelchair, but I never once heard him complain. Never. He taught us a lot about being handicapped, even though he never considered himself handicapped. On the lighter side, if you haven't rode with Tim, you have never experienced a ride. It's better than any carnival ride you've ever been on. But I never knew Tim to have an accident. If Tim didn't have anybody to ride with him to the away games, we would pile in the back of his van and hold on for dear life. Tim will be missed. As it was stated, Marshall County sports was his life. That was what he lived for. And he got us crazy ladies involved in it. Whatever Tim done, we was right there to help him. So Tim definitely will be missed.
All of the things that I said a moment ago about Tim Hawkins and everything that he has meant to the student athletes and the programs here at the high school, you can say those same exact things for this next group of inductees. They're right there with Tim in their devotion, their dedication, their support, organization, working hours, working hospitality rooms, putting together gifts for the kids, putting stuff together on road trips, you name it, they do it, and have done it for many, many years. Unfortunately, some of them have left us too. But our next group of inductees, and our final inductees of the night, will be introduced by a member of the Lady Marshall's golf team, and our girls and boys golf teams are terrific, as they always are. I think the girls have won, how many tournaments have they won so far this year, Mike? 7 tournaments out of what, 8 or 9 that they've entered? And 2-time state champion, probably going to three-peat this year, no pressure, Elsie. But Elsie Riley, a member of the girls golf team here at the high school.
In 1980, the Lady Marshall basketball team made its first of its decade-plus run at the girls' state tournament. From that, a group of Lady Marshals superfans, most of them friends from high school, got together in support of the team and began putting stars on their cheeks for games. This immediately caught on, and they found themselves putting stars on the faces of other fans. The original group consisted of Bonnie Rose, Crazy Lady 1, Kay English, Crazy Lady 2, Kathleen Wyatt, Crazy Lady 3, also the ringleader, and Peggy Draffin, Crazy Lady 4. They were classmates at North Marshall, and their children went to Bryansburg, where they were all involved in PTA activities. They all got to be good friends and got together with Joyce Holt, Crazy Lady 5, and Bernice McCoy, Crazy Lady 6. During this time, camping for tournament tickets was the in thing, and the group found another kindred spirit in Paula Bell, Crazy Lady 7, who also had a camper which they all used when camping for tickets. They became iconic in their own right, dressing crazy for games and serving in volunteer capacities. Then, athletic director Doc Sanders would call on them to help with sack lunches when they were needed for teams traveling out of town. They assisted Tim Hawkins with backboard club activities for many years. They have done all the cooking and serving at Hoop Fest as volunteers from its inception. Before that, they worked at Project Graduation, at Valentine's Day dances, and they were always ready and willing to help. They put together tailgate parties at football games also. Never seeking the spotlight, they were recognized in a feature article in the Lexington Herald. And Chad Darnell did a documentary on them, which received an honorable mention award. According to Bonnie Rose, one of the unique things about them was that they could always speak their minds to one another without anyone getting mad. Congratulations, ladies.
Dina, would you come get Kathleen? Somebody from Joyce's family and someone from Bernice's family, please come. We do have a few thank yous. Have y'all got long enough for me to read all these? You see why we're crazy? Thank you so much for this honor. We didn't seek this honor. When we first started, we wanted to be a part of the program. Thanks to Doc Sanders, he got us involved. Doc would call maybe 2 o'clock in the afternoon or 2:30. Do you think y'all could have 30 sack lunches ready by 3? Guess what? We did, didn't we, Doc? Yes. You've already told the history. I was going to tell about the history of the Crazy Ladies, but you've already seen it up here on the screen. But 6 of us was friends at Bryansburg, and I know a lot of you want to know how Paula from Benton became one of us. It was through the purchasing of tournament tickets. We would come and stand in line. Well, Paula just seemed to fit right in with us. She was as crazy as the others, not me, but the others. Mr. Woodward gave us the opportunity to cook for Hoop Fest. And that has been a joy for us until this last one. As you can tell, my other crazy ladies are getting old. And we want to thank Jeff Stokes and Mike Johnson for allowing us to continue the tradition of cooking. We've also helped with basketball banquets when they was held at Kentucky Dam Convention Center. Do y'all remember those? Paula was the chairperson of that. She did a dandy job. Anything the ADs needed, we did it. We want to thank the athletic directors, secretaries, Ronisa, Joseph, McWaters, and of course, sweet Vicki English. Let me get to page 2. One of the highlights was when Missy Lee started the tradition of, and this was probably Missy, was it about 87, 89? At the first game of the regional tournament, the Lady Marshals gave each of us March flowers. That tradition has carried through last year. Hopefully these, where you at, girls? We'll do it this year. And many wonder why we do not have chair seats. Missy's the cause of that. One time, I guess it was a district tournament at Marshall County, we decided we was going to buy chair seats. We did. Missy Lee comes out on the floor. She looks around. She finds us. She comes up in the stand off of the floor, makes us go back over to our bleacher seats. Those bleacher seats are the top row of the bottom section, center section. And that's where we sit. That is our seats. We've even asked people to move if they were sitting there. Thank you to the person or persons who nominated us. Thank you for the committee for choosing us. It's been our joy. And just because we've got this award does not mean we're going to stop. It's just the beginning. Also, thanks to our families for their patience with supporting us in this effort. We couldn't have done it without their support. We do have husbands. You may not believe it, but we do. We do.
They're here.
Oh, yeah, they're here. They come tonight. And thank you all again. Oh, there's one last thing I got to tell. When we started, there was 4 Baptists and 3 Church of Christ. A Baptist died. A Baptist died. A Baptist died. So we tell Peggy she better change religions or she'll be next. But she got me back. 3 years ago, I had almost a fatal heart attack. They thought I was dying. They come to the hospital. You know what she said to me? The Lord thought you was a Baptist. Thank you all again.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh, me. Listen, I could stay up here for the next 2 hours and not top that. I couldn't do it. Before I began broadcasting basketball from the floor several years ago, I was still up top. Before I surrendered to age and eyesight, I would come by sometimes on the way up to the booth and see some visiting fans sitting in those seats. And sometimes I wouldn't tell them, sometimes I would, just kind of depended on what mood I showed up in. But I'd say, hey, you can't sit there. Well, why not? They're not reserved. Yeah, they are. And you better go ahead and move. So what a great group that they have been in support of not just basketball, but you'll see them tailgating at football and at soccer matches, all kinds of things. Just really love the kids here at the high school. What a great night we've had. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as we have. It's good to be back. It's good to be able to gather and celebrate excellence again with all of these folks and the folks that weren't able to be with us tonight because of other commitments. We pass along our congratulations and best wishes and hope that maybe they can join us next year and we can pay special recognition. One person we would like to thank who really does more work than anybody else involved in this event, and she's sitting right behind us, and that's Vicki English. Vicki, stand up. Vicki is in charge of contacting all of the inductees and getting all of the information to them and putting together press releases, and that's just part of it. It's really a big job, and she does it with a smile on her face every year, and we're so fortunate to have her. Mike, you have anything else before we? Thank you all for being here. Jay, thank you again for being here. By the way, Jay will have copies of his book back over in the Commons area. I highly recommend it. Whether you're a Kentucky fan or not, you'll get something out of it, I promise. It's a great story, a lot of great lessons in there. And if you want to just stop and take a picture with Jay or get an autograph, he'll do that too. But have a great night, everybody. Congratulations again. Be safe going home. Thank you.